Resolution on the Secretary's desk.
Joint legislative resolution by Senator Norcross and Assemblymen Fuentes and Wilson. Whereas the Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey note with sadness the death of Joseph A. Balzano, highly esteemed within the Garden State, who passed away from this life at the age of 77. And whereas Joseph A. Balzano served the South Jersey Port Corporation with distinction since 1951, including as Director and Chief Executive Officer for more than 2 decades. And whereas the depth of his knowledge and the breadth of his experience contributed immeasurably to the successful functioning and acclaim of the South Jersey Port Corporation, which under his superb leadership established the Green Port Initiative and became a major importer of bulk materials such as timber, cocoa, beans, pineapples, and steel. And whereas he was renowned as a friendly and caring family man, neighbor, and member of his community, and he gave generously of his time, energy, and resources in benefit of Sacred Heart Parish. And whereas within all the spheres of his life and work, Joseph A. Balzano established a model to emulate and set a standard of excellence towards which others might strive. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey that this legislature hereby honors the memory of Joseph A. Balzano and extends profound sympathy and sincere condolences to the members of his family. And be it further resolved that a duly authenticated copy of this resolution, signed by the Senate President and the Assembly Speaker and attested by the Senate Secretary and the Assembly Clerk, be transmitted to the family of Joseph A. Balzano.
Senator Norcross moves the resolution. Senator Norcross.
Thank you. For over 50 years, Joe Balzano, as he first entered the port down in Camden, ran that organization from top to bottom, from starting as a forklift driver all the way through as its executive director in the past 20 years. Immersed himself day and night. But in addition to that, we take a look at Joe Balzano, the man. Cared about the workers, cared about those who didn't necessarily have a college education, but created jobs with benefits for over half a century. South Jersey Port, under his leadership, was known as one of the best ports, not on the East Coast, not in the United States, but in the world, and was stated so in the New York Times. When we look at Joe outside of the port, which is hard to do for those of you who knew Joe, was involved in all those areas in Camden surrounding the ports. Couldn't say no and wouldn't say no, whether it was Sacred Heart, who would literally in the middle of the night would be down there to help them and those who attended. For those of us who've been involved in the battleship New Jersey, quite frankly, it was Joe Balzano's idea over 2 decades ago to bring the battleship home. And it would not be here in New Jersey waters if it wasn't for Joe Balzano. But as we're here today, and behind me is his family from the port, his family from the battleship, his family that he loved so much. Because Joe was a friend to business, Joe was a friend to workers, but most of all, Joe was a friend, and he will be sorely missed. We would hope that every public servant strives to do what Joe did during his lifetime. And Joe may be physically gone, but his legacy will live on forever, as yesterday they renamed the South Jersey Port the Balzano Port on Balzano Boulevard. And it's with great honor that I'm here today to wish his family, his extended family, all the best for Joe. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Allen.
I'm thrilled to hear that it is going to be the Balzano Port. I think that is spectacular. Joe Balzano is a fellow who truly, as Senator Norcross said, cared deeply about everything to do with the port, with Camden, with virtually anybody with whom he came into contact. He was a great help to me when I was involved in a shipping business, and would share his knowledge freely, would help, would call and see if I needed anything more, far beyond anything that he needed to do. I don't know whether anybody has even tried to clean out his office at this point, or how long that might take.
Yeah.
But he had such treasures in there, and he could speak about each one. He was a man of great heart, a man of great compassion, and somebody that we all miss immensely. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Beck.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to develop a friendship with Joe Balzano many years ago when I was doing some work at the South Jersey Port Corporation. And, you know, beyond his deep knowledge of that whole port facility, there is also sort of an interesting aspect to this man, which was the depth of his religious belief. Every morning he would get up 6 o'clock in the morning or earlier and make a stop at the church on the way to the port to say prayers for all those that he loved and all those that worked with him, because indeed that was really family to him. And I have to say, in all those years, you don't come across many individuals that are just committed to their job so that it pervades every aspect of their life. He was really a diamond in the rough, and it's a great loss to all of us to have him pass on.
Thank you, Senator. Anyone further? If not, I'm sorry, Senator Beach.
Just to add to Joe's family, he was a friend to so many people, and I'm just very pleased about one thing with Joe. We didn't have to pay him by the hour. And God bless you.
Thank you, Senator. Anyone further? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. Thank you.